Hi, babies. Ooh, my waves are doing what they're supposed to today. Yay. I like it. Not really. It's just woke up here. So today I want to talk about something that I think we're witnessing in real time. Um, and I know other creators have touched on it. But I think that I just want to put my personal 2 cents and spin on it. We are currently living, no, let me back up. My grandfather said to me when I was a kid, he said, you know, when I was growing up, if you got to 8th grade in your education, like you were considered, like, good job. He was like, and then by the time your stepfather was in school, it was like, if you got to high school, it was like, woohoo. And then he was like, but for you, it's going to be, you're going to have college to get the woohoo. So I want to put that in perspective for like timeline ish, like timeline shit, right? Because I want us as a society to realize that the younger Gen X and the millennials are really the first generation where poverty stricken kids or kids who, may not have been of the wealthiest class received an education above like basic bare minimum. Now, here's where I give this caveat of don't try to come on here and be like college education doesn't make you smart. I never said it did. But what I am saying is this is the first time that disadvantaged and underprivileged people had access to gaining knowledge. And it's a very different space than the wealthy always having access. Look at it from the example of like if you're too poor to eat cheese, right? But the wealthy mayor or whatever the wealthy class of your neighborhood throws cheese out because they have an abundance of cheese. Their children may say they don't like cheese. They may say we're not going to eat cheese. They may only eat cheese on holidays, but because you've never had access to cheese, when you do get access to cheese, there's a way that you consume it almost to the point where like you're ravenous. So I think that corporations and our government in their mind said requiring a certain level of education or pushing parents to want and require this level of knowledge in their children was going to benefit their businesses and corporations. But they're now realizing in that model what happened is the families that never had access to these things have now deep dived into this and really just found that it's all bullshit. That the economics are not economicing. That capitalism is bullshit. That America is bullshit. And that corporate greed is a thing. That exploitation never stopped. It just changes clothes. And that's the actual brand of American that we live in, or America. And I think right now, all the corporations are pushing all this money into our government to get everything and into the colleges and stuff to make everything so much more harder because they realize that they need us to be simpler again. I think we're going to see a lot, and I mean this, a lot of states making, first of all, school's already almost just babysitting, but they're going to make it to the point where it's not even required, right? All these laws that say now you have to have a high school, if your kid's not in school, the CPS is going to come knocking. CPS is going to quit come knocking because they want your kid to drop out of school. They want your kid to barely be able to read because they realize that's where they need you in order to be dependent on them. It's only going to get worse. And I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom. It's only going to get worse. And I think that what we have to realize is it's only going to get worse because they want it that way. And yeah, there's a lot of nuances to and things to this TikTok ban, right? Like there's a lot. There's a lot, right? Yes, they want a piece of the money, right? Absolutely. There's an arm, there's a branch of this that they just want access to the money that TikTok has. They don't like that it's not coming into their pockets. But also, but also, this is the first time that we've really had the least amounts of censorship and access to people who were experts. Is that the only reason? No, no, of course not. Because there's different branches that want different things. But at the end of the day, they don't mind that if we want a simple life, they'll let us have it. But they also want us to have a simple mind. And that's the problem.